Welcome, one and all, to the Adam Kiss Show, and welcome to my living room, from where I'm going to be talking to you about the great movie North by Northwest. This is a movie directed by Alfred Hitchcock, starring Cary Grant and Eve Marie Saint, and it really set the tone for the modern action movie, the modern blockbuster. I mean, if you take a look at it, you'll see that all action movies, all action adventure movies really owe a great debt to this movie. It was released in 1959, I believe, and it really set the tone for none other than the James Bond movies. That's right. Da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. That was my interpretation of the James Bond theme, but it was definitely, it all started here with North by Northwest, one of the greatest action-adventure movies of all time, and I'm going to get right into it. But first, definitely subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification to get updated whenever we release a new video. We got plenty of great content coming your way. Like, comment, and share this video with everybody, and let's get right into it. So what do you get when you combine the team of Alfred Hitchcock and Cary Grant? Well, I know the answer personally. You get a movie that I want to watch. I love all four of their movies together. I believe that Cary Grant was actually Hitchcock's favorite actor to work with. Cary Grant is certainly my favorite actor of all time, overall, I would say. He doesn't get enough credit, I would say. He did a lot of lighter projects, which meant he didn't get as much awards consideration. He was nominated, I believe, only one time for None But the Lonely Heart, which is one of his darker movies. And then he obviously won an honorary Oscar, and he did have some controversy with the Academy, but he did win an honorary Oscar later in his life after he retired. And again, he's one of my favorites, and this movie is certainly one of my favorites. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Cary Grant movie or my favorite Hitchcock movie, but it's definitely up there. I also love another one of their collaborations that I love is To Catch a Thief. That was with Hitchcock, Cary Grant, and Grace Kelly in her last film appearance before she became the Princess of Monaco. Funnily enough, that movie was actually filmed, portions of it were filmed in the south of France in the Monaco area, and then obviously portions were filmed in Hollywood. But I digress. We're talking about North by Northwest here. Again, one of the quintessential action movies, stars Cary Grant as Roger Thornhill, an advertising executive who gets caught up in way over his head and mistaken for a super spy. Again, this is a genre and a trope that has been used many times since then, but it was very new in its time. The screenplay was by Ernest Lehman, and he and Hitchcock set out to collaborate, and originally they were set to create a movie called The Wreck of the Mary Dear. This movie ended up being filmed with Charlton Heston and Gary Cooper. I've seen that movie as well. That's a whole other review. But the point is, they kind of gave up on the project. They kind of said that the beginning is great, but after that, all the mystery is gone, and neither of them knew what to do. So Ernest Lehman said, I'm going to make a Hitchcock picture to end all Hitchcock pictures. So he just kind of started writing the script, and he wrote it in a very controversial style, in that he just started writing and didn't know what was going to happen next, and kept writing. So he was finding out the story as the audience was. I mean, in the modern day, so many people who write screenplays and authors believe in outlining everything meticulously, and probably he did so in other projects, other scripts, but in this particular project, he genuinely didn't know what was going to happen next. And I know that he mentioned once he got to about page 60, he just was totally stuck, would sometimes get stuck on writing one page in a day, which is not a lot. I know from experience as a screenwriter who's written over 10 screenplays, definitely one page a day is not a lot to write, but he just didn't know what to do, and eventually he was just at dinner with Hitchcock. Hitchcock was already thinking, okay, what other writers do I have to bring in to help us? And then suddenly the ending of the story came to him, and they ended up finishing it up. This is a spoiler-free review, so I won't give up any of the details of the plot, but it's absolutely thrilling. It has a bunch of twists and turns, and it really set up the genre as a whole. James Mason also does a great turn in the villain part of Van Damme. Another interesting tidbit is that part of the story takes place at the United Nations, and even Hitchcock, on a production of this scale, could not get permission to film at the United Nations, so he had to build a set of the inside of the United Nations, and then for the outside, he actually wasn't allowed to film there either, but he just put the camera in the back of a truck, had Cary Grant walk past, and you can actually see one person walking by who is not sure that he's in the movie, but he sees Cary Grant walking by, and you can see kind of a double take there. So that's actually in the movie. That was shot guerrilla style illegally. So that's kind of a funny story that even a huge production like that had to do things like that to get the movie made. Well, that's all I have to say for now about North by Northwest. Again, great movie, one of my favorites. And that's all, folks. But be sure to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, all the social media platforms. And I'm here for you. Comment below what other videos you'd like me to do. Arrivederci.